My team update about an aspect of police reform we rarely talk about. Amidst calls for better training and recruiting, the mental health of police officers has long been overlooked. But that began to change 3 years ago when News 4 surveyed cops about everything from stress to their thoughts of suicide. 8,000 responded, starting a conversation that is now getting action from President Biden.
Every day, our nation's police officers answer the call and confront scenes that can take a toll on them as well and leave them traumatized.
For cops in the tri-state and across the country, the words from the White House were extraordinary.
We need to help them recover from the invisible wounds that their work can inflict.
President Biden signing the Cops Counseling Act, which encourages peer counseling programs, guarantees conversations stay confidential for federal officers, and requires the Justice Department to provide resources to department.
It's a huge first step.
Sherry Martin is National Director of Wellness Services for the Fraternal Order of Police, the world's largest police union. She says too many cops in crisis don't get help.
Either it's because they fear repercussions from their administration or because they just worry about the culture of being seen as weak because you're using a service.
News 4 revealed the depth of the problem in 2018, teaming up with the Fraternal Order of Police for a mental health survey of cops across the country. Nearly 8,000 responded. 78% told us they experienced critical stress on the job. 68% said stress caused unresolved emotional issues. 16% had thoughts of suicide. 90% said there's a stigma in law enforcement that creates a barrier to seeking help. Martin says our report went straight to the top.
The powers that be, the bigger law enforcement groups and the Department of Justice recognized that some of the statistics that were coming out of that survey were pretty staggering and pretty significant. And so they started to invite us to come and talk about the survey results. We owe you guys a lot of thanks because that really propelled everything that we've done.
In fact, our survey was cited by Senator Cortez Masto of Nevada when she introduced the legislation. She highlighted the fact that 73% of cops favored peer support programs, a finding echoed by the president.
The vast majority of law enforcement officers tell us that peer support programs are the most helpful mental health resource there is.
But keeping those conversations confidential is critical to officers trusting the process. While federal officers are now protected, Martin says it's time to do the same for everyone.
What we hope will follow is that in the states or in the towns and cities where they don't have protected speech between peers, that will be the next step.
In the tri-state, peer counseling is confidential by law in Connecticut, but not in New York and New Jersey. Also worth noting that the Fraternal Order of Police just finishing another survey of police mental health. And it comes, of course, after George Floyd and the calls to reform and defund police. Those results released in January.